Welcome back to Scouting Movies, everybody. Today we're talking about a international film, a foreign language film. Uh, there's probably not a whole lot of these every year that I'll be looking at, but I think there's two or three from this current year that I'm looking at, 1988. This one is called, um, in in its native language, it's called Der Hummel über Berlin, which is translated to Wings of Desire. So let's talk about Wings of Desire for a second. First of all, the synopsis for the movie. Uh, it's set in a still divided Berlin, Germany during the Cold War. It follows Damiel, who is one of several angels who drift through the city, invisible, inaudible, observing the lives of humans. They hear their thoughts, they witness the joy and pain, but they can't participate, they can't feel it themselves. They're eternal, but they're also detached. And so that goes on until Damiel falls in love with Marion, who's a lonely trapeze artist, and decides he wants to feel. He wants to feel the love. He wants to feel the joy, the pain of human existence, and he wants to be part of the world. So it's a movie about seeing and experiencing versus, or sorry, seeing uh, kind of detached versus living and experiencing, watching versus being. And it's really kind of stunning. And so, talk about that for a second. It's the movie is not loud. It's not fast by any means. It's fairly long. It's about 2.25 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes, something like that. And it's not really even about what happens that you're seeing on the screen. It's more about how it feels. For the right kind of viewer, it's not just a film. It's really an experience. It's one of the most beautiful films, uh, the way that it looks, at least, that's ever put to screen. So let's start with that. The obvious is that it is a gorgeous movie. It's kind of the frame it on your wall kind of experience, kind of gorgeous. The and the use of color in particular is really new and really innovative in this case. The angelic world is shot in black and white. So the first maybe two-thirds of the movie is black and white. It's crisp, quiet, distant, and it's not really just an aesthetic choice either. It means something. It's how the angels kind of view the world, muted, emotionless, grayscale, almost a black and white kind of good or bad mentality. It's haunting. It's also just kind of sad and detached, and you don't feel as a viewer, as you're watching this movie, you don't feel that you're really part of it. And it's that's a choice by filmmaker Wim Wenders, who made this movie. He wanted the viewers to feel that sort of detachment from what is going on. It's also the way that the camera is following the characters. It's kind of from a distance rather than from close up, and that's also a, a choice that the filmmakers made in order to make the audience feel like they're the angels watching from a distance versus up close and personal and intimate. Uh, so um, they can observe us, but they can't feel anything. And then it changes when Damiel chooses to become human. Color explodes into the film, and it doesn't just fade in; it erupts. I mean, there are deep reds and warm yellows and city lights that suddenly feel alive. It's overwhelming in the best sense of that word. The first splash of color is blood, actually, because Demiel falls, literally falls from a tower to kind of fall from heaven onto the ground, and he gets a scrape and a bruise and a cut on his arm, and he sees the blood, and so that's the first vibrant kind of color that we see in the movie, and it's really interesting. It's one of the most powerful uses of color that I've ever seen in film because not just of the way that it's seen in the movie, but the way that it uh, changes the interpretation from us as viewers on how we're watching this and how we're experiencing the movie, and now we're experiencing it with Damiel as part of what it means to be human, what it means to feel now. Uh, let's see, when it finally does jolt us into the human world, it creates this incredible sense of empathy. We hear uh, before we were just hearing people's thoughts, loneliness, regret, hope, heartbreak, and everything like that. But suddenly we're in it, and it's really intimate. It's not a story in a traditional sense, as I've said before. It's not something that we've experienced on a large scale. It's more like a tapestry of what it means to be alive. For a while, you're just soaking it in, and here's this thing. The film asks you a lot as well, especially if you're not from Germany, if you don't speak the language, because this is in German. The whole film is. You need subtitles to watch it if you don't speak it, and so it's not something you can just watch while folding laundry. It's something that you need to pay attention to for 2.25 hours. That you need to read the subtitles and understand what's going on in the film, and that's sometimes a difficult thing to do. A lot of us want to do other things while we're watching a movie, and this one doesn't allow us to do that. But it's more than just the foreign language aspect. Uh, it's slow. The movie is purposefully slow. It's more concerned with being than doing. It's more concerned with how humans feel, how we feel when we're watching this movie, than it is about what's actually happening on the screen. That doesn't matter as much to Wim Wenders or the filmmakers or the screenwriter or anything like that. This is much more of a sense movie, and you have to be part of it. You have to understand what's going on to really uh, experience it the right way. Uh, so when Damiel chooses to fall, when he chooses to become human, it's not just a character beat; it's a spiritual moment. Suddenly, he's overwhelmed by everything: color, sound, taste, pain. As I mentioned, the first thing that he feels is pain, and it's really kind of funny and heartwarming when you see him experience pain for the first time, because he doesn't act like someone who is experiencing pain. He acts like this is the greatest thing in the world. That he's feeling something, even though it's pain and it hurts. He's loving it because he's feeling the sensation of what it means to be human for the first time. Uh, the film becomes warmer, more grounded, even a little playful at that point. DeMille's journey from observer to participant becomes our own as we're brought into the world of color, the world of feeling, the world of more intimacy. We spend so long at a distance that when we finally touch the world, it hits a lot harder. It's really one of the most cathartic payoffs that you're going to get in film if you're paying attention through the beginning and then through this point where things change. As far as the acting goes, Bruno Ganz plays Damiel. And he doesn't do a lot of big acting. There's not a whole lot of huge emotional scenes that he's doing. That's kind of the genius of it, though. He carries the entire film with this calm, thoughtful presence and a desire to experience what it means to be human. And then it's a longing. There's a softness to him. Uh, and then the trapeze artist is played by, I'm going to butcher her name, but her name is Solveig Domerton. She plays Marion, the trapeze artist, and she also has this kind of sense that someone is watching her the whole time, dreaming of connection, dreaming of that kind of intimacy that she hasn't really experienced. Turns out, obviously, there are people watching her, these angels, and Damiel in particular. So she's not some idealized love interest. She's lost as well until she's found by Damiel. Um, a lot of the dialogue in the film isn't even conversation; it's inner monologue. It's not always easy to follow. It's not all, especially when you're reading subtitles rather than really listening to what the words are. It's philosophical, meditative, sometimes cryptic, but it's beautiful. The writing is the dialogue, the internal monologue that you're getting from a lot of the characters and that the angels are hearing, and then when Damiel is actually speaking to Marion later on in the film as well. It's writing that sticks with you, even if you don't really fully grasp it on the first pass. It's a film about existence, about choosing to engage with life rather than just watching it from a distance. And that's a good message to take. No matter how painful or fleeting life's experiences are, it's more important to live it, to understand how it feels to be human in that moment, rather than watching someone else live it. Uh, How wild is it that a movie about angels watching humans ends up being one of the more human things that you'll see? That's what one of the things that this movie does so well. So, wrapping this up, Wings of Desire isn't for everyone. Okay, it's slow, it's quiet, it's in a different language. It asks you to really give yourself to to the movie for a full 2 hours and 20 minutes almost. But if you give yourself over to it, you'll learn a lot, and you'll experience a lot in this movie. You'll be rewarded with something deeply moving, something that lingers, a film that doesn't just show you life; it makes you feel like you're seeing life for the first time. It's poetic, profound, uh, human. What grade will I give it? Just because it's not for everyone and it's pretty slow, I'm giving it an A rather than an A plus. But it is really that powerful and that good. So I'm giving it an A. One of the more visually and emotionally resonant films that you'll see. Wim Wenders did. He crafted a meditation on life here. Somehow it leaves you feeling more alive after watching it. Uh, so if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it highly. Again, it's a commitment to be able to watch this movie, but I would urge you to do that. Let me know what other films I should watch, what other films I should review like this. If you like my style of reviewing films, that kind of goes more in depth than a lot of other things do. Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, engage with me. Okay, thanks everyone.